What's up, everybody? I'm Nick. This is Michelle. Welcome to Von King Kennels and Training, VDK TV. Today we got a super exciting review for you on the Classic Kong. What's up, everybody? I'm Nick. This is Michelle. Welcome to Von King Kennels and Training, VDK TV.
Today we're going to be talking about two different well-known types of Kongs, the red Kong Classic and the black Kong Extreme. We've been using these two items for several years, not only with pet clientele, our own personal dogs, but also sport dogs and working dogs. First up, we will talk about the red Kong Classic. In our experience, we have found that these do pretty well with what we like to call a masher or a mashing style of a chewer. These are the dogs that really like to have the reflex and they just take their jaws and just mash, mash, mash. We have found that the red does the best compared to the black because it has a little bit more flex to it, which allows that mashing to happen. But we have found that they do not do as well with a picking style. The pickers are the dogs that like to use their front teeth and really just pick away at the Kong. So you can see with this one here, this is a little bit of an older one that one of our pickers had. So they just started with the base and they literally just started picking away.
Next on the list, the Extreme Kong. I guess extreme's all relative, right? We found though that this Kong is not so good for mashers, okay? Dogs that really like to grip and mash and compress, such as German Shepherds, not so great for. Every one of these that we've had, and again, this is going back about 12 years, they come off at the top. Now, if your dog is a picker, maybe it's a Malinois, maybe a Dutch Shepherd, maybe another breed, and it just likes to pull and pick, we've found that this is great for that. Very resilient to the picking portion, okay?
We generally don't recommend the Kongs to be left with power chewers without being watched. Because if your dog pops this top off, they can chew it and potentially have a blockage.
Now, this Kong is not just limited to the pet industry. We use this Kong every day working dogs, anywhere from sport dogs to law enforcement dogs to dogs for the federal government. We use this not only to exercise, again, same thing with the string. We'll throw it, we'll let them retrieve it, bring it back. But we also use this in our payment system, our reward system for detection dogs. Dog goes to source, alerts, you can mark, say yes, click, whatever it might be, hold your Kong out, dog comes back, grabs it, boom, reward. You can also use it for the classic pay at source, right? A direct reward system or third-party reward system. Dogs at source, we toss. Also, dogs on a grip, I recall them, same concept. I can use my Kong as a payment system. Now, there's a couple other Kongs we should talk about. Obviously, you see in front of us, we have a black, we've got a red, we've got another black extreme. We also have this orange one. You're gonna pick your size based on your breed and based on your discipline.
Next up, we also have a Kong Aqua. They are orange in color and they also come pre-made with a string in them. If you look on the inside, there's a little gray foam in there. This allows it to float. So these are really good water toys. As you can see, this one's a little frayed. It has been used several times. It has held up pretty well. There's a little bit of a cut there in it, but again, overall, this is a pretty decent toy. I would not leave this with a dog to just chew on. This is gonna be more of an interactive thing, throw in the water, dog brings it back. I have heard horror stories of the dogs pulling this out because they were left with it and swallowing and basically getting a throat obstruction and having to rush them to the vet. So we don't want that. So interactive toy, toss, play, it'll float in the water.
Another Kong of note is the Kong Puppy. It's super, super soft, great for puppies. As your dog gets older though, that Kong is gonna fall apart, and I would highly suggest taking it away from your dog and replacing it with maybe the classic Kong. There is a purple Kong designed for seniors. No, not the people. Senior dog, okay? It is designed for senior dogs. It's soft. It's not as soft as a puppy, but it's soft. Small, medium, and large are the sizes I believe it comes in.
Next Kong I want to talk about is the blue Kong. The blue Kong can only be purchased from veterinarians or online from a veterinarian site. There's also some that you can purchase from Ray Allen as an example. They only come in medium, large, and extra large. They are said to be 25% stronger than the regular classic Kong. Most of these are used for working dog applications, sport dogs, and if you have a pet dog that tends to tear apart their toys, these are really great options because they're actually radio opaque. So what that means is if your dog happens to ingest a piece, that you can take your dog into the vet, they get x-rayed, and that will actually show up on the x-ray so you will know for sure where exactly it is inside of them. Most other rubber toys do not do that. So they're a great option if you're afraid of that happening or you have a dog that may have a history of doing such. Next up, we have what are called Kong tails. These are really good for pets. They're pre-made, basically like a little bit of a fetch tug toy. I do not really recommend these as a sport or working dog toy because a lot of times they would rather play with these more than target the Kong and use that as the reward themselves. But for pet dogs, they're fun. They'll like to grab the end, which it does have a pre-made looped handle in that. So fetch, toss, have fun. The dogs really like to shake it. They like the noise. And there's also a squeaker in it. And you can probably hear our dogs in the background getting really excited about that. So good pet toy, just good fun in the yard play. I also would not recommend to just leave this out for many dogs too, because with this fabric, they can use their back teeth and just scissor away at those and then also cause an obstruction if you're not watching. So good toy overall, but don't leave it out with the dogs to just chew on and cause issues. Kong can be a really great toy for the dogs that can self-obsess over toys themselves. For some of the pet dogs out there, they can be a little bit boring. They don't really have a very great taste. They can't really ingest them, and there's not a lot of feedback for some of those pet dogs. So what's great about these is you can put peanut butter, little bits of treats in there, basically a little bit of a food toy and a food puzzle that these pet dogs can really enjoy. They can sit there, keep their attention span for 15 minutes, 20 minutes, half hour, depending on how easy or difficult you make the food game for them. These are also really great to freeze on hot days. You can pre-pack it with some food, throw it in the freezer, and then during the middle of the day when it's hot out, give it to your dog and a little bit of a nice cool treat for them during the summer. So here's a fun, quick history on the background of Kong. Kong was invented in the 1970s by a man named Joe Markham. His dog, a German Shepherd named Fritz, tended to be obsessed with carrying around rocks, sticks, just about anything that he could get his mouth on. And he noticed that his dog was starting to wear his teeth down because of that. Many of you with working dogs or sport dogs will notice that sometimes that obsession, they can really wear down their teeth. So Joe was working on his Volkswagen bus and threw out an old suspension part, and he noticed that the dog was then obsessed with it, and thus the idea of the Kong came to be.
Thank you for watching VDK TV. Be sure to like and subscribe. Tune in next time for more working dog content.